November the
Oop,
20th. And it feels
okay, I'm
like
back. Yeah.
let's see. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. My headphones weren't working. Is that
Oh,
okay? Can you hear me?
oh yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah, let
couldn't
me
hear you
just
properly. These okay.
oh, that's okay. No, I was just saying it's November the 20th and
Yeah.
it's been a heck of a month.
Mm,
It really has. I think it started for me around the 31st, right around Halloween. Maybe the 30th or the
yeah.
31st. Let me just make
Yeah.
sure it's going here. Yeah.
I had no water for a month.
What?
My water went for a month. I had no running water for a month at my house.
You're
And it was
kidding.
all tied in with something. Yeah, but I had to learn something. But like you said, it had to be taught in a physical way
Yeah.
because I'm so stupid. I had
What?
to be taught in the most difficult, I'm so stupid. I
Oh,
had to be taught in this like physical, like this is gonna make your life impossible
I
until you learn, you know?
yeah, I get that. Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
I had an episode in uh October. I think it was October. Yeah, it was. It was October. It's like October 20th. And
Yeah.
it was one of those moments. It was one of those moments. It was like life or death kind of moment.
Mm,
But it was the, pushing me to the point where do you get this now? Do
yes.
you get
Yeah.
this? I'm like, yes, I get it. So you had no water for a month? How did you
A
manage?
month, yeah. I just had to fill up water and to use the toilet and the sink and all that. But it just kicks right back in. Your famine body just kicks right back in,
Right.
you know. And my kids went to stay at their dad's for a while, so that was good. So they went for the showers. So I got some time to also think as well. So it was okay. It was like we've been through worse, Todd.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, yeah,
I lost
it's
track of
fine.
you. I kind of lost track of you because the name change, and so
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
like, where did she go? And because I started,
Reborn.
yeah, I started increasing the volume of the shows in May,
Yeah.
and so
How's it going?
it's going good. I mean, we're doing about 40 a month now, but it's not like the
Mm,
old days. We used to do about almost 70 a month. But yeah,
mm,
but anyway, God, I forgot why. Oh, and so somebody sent me a note and said,
mm.
"Can you have Mary on?" And I went to look. Oh, who's this? I went to look, and oh, there
Yeah.
she is. And I wrote her back. I said, "Yeah, she's been on several times. I'll reach out to her." So I don't know who it was. I forget,
Nice.
but yeah, yeah. So I don't know. You seem to be pretty tapped in to what's going on.
Mm,
It's funny though because over the last few weeks, it's not been crickets, but it's been like people aren't. It's not the same. Like something's
yeah.
happening. Something's moving
Yeah.
very fast, and you really don't even have time to talk about it. I think this comet's interesting. But yeah,
Hmm.
anyway, so I don't know. Welcome back. Thank you for coming in. It's always a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to sit
Thank you
down
for
with
having
you.
me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, me too. I was feeling that our talk tonight would be just very grounding and like you said, there has been a quietness for the past while. And I just felt our coming back together for a chat would be kind of grounding or heartwarming was the words that came to me because yeah, it feels like people are going through it, like you said, you know,
Well, yeah, it
or
seems
have
like it.
been.
Yeah, it
Mm,
seems like it. I mean, it's just such a different world now. But like you pick up energies. Like I pick up energies when I'm doing my work. Loading reels or gathering memes or doing the show
mm,
or scheduling. And so I'll see people's energy, and but overall, it's like it's there's a lot of talk out there, but it doesn't seem the same to me. There's I
Hmm.
laugh about it because people will make comments on my post and they'll, well, no, this is the way it is, or that's the way. I'm like, everybody's fucking smart, man. you know, no. So you see some of that, but as far as like really having a handle on things, or I don't know how to put this, but it's almost like we're all being taken to the same place where
Yeah,
there's no more explanations needed. The whole governments and all that stuff is not landing. You know,
yeah,
the mother's energy has been extremely powerful for me my whole
mm,
life, but really picked up well, for the last year, but really picked up in the last
yeah,
few weeks. Really, really
hmm,
strong. Like she's saying, go, 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 and don't look back, and don't stop. I'm like, where are we going?
I got my mother was in my ear. She said, "Go for full glory, girl." That's what she said. Like when I was hemming and hawing about what I should do. She just said, "Go for full glory." And like that is the time. It's to be what we're made of now. No more excuses. Everything's been taken out of the way,
Yeah.
you know. Mm,
Well, there's not much left. I mean, it's it's just been, I don't, so revealing, personally revealing.
hmm.
Is one thing I would
Yeah,
say. And I don't know. It's just changed so much, but it does feel like there was what 3 or 4 years going back to like 2017, and several people came out, prominent people. The solar flash is coming in October. It's coming. And that kind
mm,
of came and went and came and went, and then this comet. And you see all these different transmissions and channelings of what's in the comet, what's on the comet. And my friend Raylene, she says, well, they're all true.
mm,
Everyone's perception is true, basically. The energies
yeah,
that it involves and invites and all that. But yeah, to me, I know we haven't talked, I think, since last year, but this year just seems totally different to me. Like once that
yeah,
solstice came in December, my soul
mhm,
came in and said, hey, y'all completed that 12-year period now. It's a new, it's a new now. You're not going to be swimming against the current anymore. You're going to be swimming with the current. And it's
yeah.
going to take some getting used to. So I feel like that's the
Mm.
track we're on. It's just a weird kind of vibe now.
Yeah, I actually saw us all reach the sun, reach the horizon, reach the sun, turn around and come back. And I felt this. We're on the homeward, we're homeward bound now. We're coming back to ourselves. So we were standing on the shoreline uh, in one instance, and but we were also returning to ourselves. And the feeling was, okay, we've done it. Everything has been passed through the sun, including all the things we weren't sure what to do with. They've been passed through the sun, brought back into the living stream, and it's like it's all coming back. All these frequencies have been purified so that they can be returned to earth, returned to our hearts, so we can reassemble ourselves in harmony. That's what it feels like, the resistance, the internal resistance. I'm not feeling it anymore. And when you say like the news stories aren't landing, it really feels like that because you know, the knowing now that our place of perception is our place of projection. It's the same body. It's like that subtle body, the subconscious, and just knowing it's brought to its proper function now. And it's like the call for those news stories within us is gone. The call for the misery, the call for the suffering, the lessons is gone. I don't know. They just they can't be believed. Those false broadcasts can't be believed anymore because we're not broadcasting them. You know?
Yeah, 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 that's true, and that's kind of what I was talking about in regard to. I mean, you can't even, I can't even look at all the headlines. I would just
Mhm.
like visit things over the years just to stay, informed and just kind of get a feel for energies. But it's a wacky, wacky world. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like super gaslighting. It's like the realm is a narcissist, and the
Yes.
gaslighting, the ghosting, the do as I
Mhm.
say, not as I do. Uh,
Mhm.
Everybody, another thing you see too is like you can find anything you want on the internet to support you. In other
Yeah.
words, whatever belief you want to, because I see people sharing stuff and it's just like, look, I know that's not even true. It's like, it's a parody. And I'm like, look at this. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's weird. It's like the only thing that's working now is uh, transparency. I mean, truly,
Yeah.
we can't
Yeah.
lie to ourselves anymore. So
Mm.
that's to me where it's really hitting. It's not so much about, oh, I'm going to put up a boundary and oh, you're not going to treat me this way or no, it's me. It's me. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this situation that you're in or that situation that happens or whatever happens, it's not about anybody but you. It's just me. If I want to
Yeah.
change things, I change my energy. And this is not just pretty words anymore. We've been given
No.
something, some higher level of tech has turned on within us, coding has turned on within us, and it's continuing to expand. I don't know how to use it yet.
I think what we're doing right now is exactly it because it's harmonious connection now feels to me like everything. Well, it's the only thing I want now. It's, a place where the lines between us all can be cleared out, and it has to be between us. You cannot, there's only so much we can do, sitting in our isolated perfection, trying to make ourselves perfect before we speak. It just isn't that. It's in our interconnectedness that we're getting to see the bits that don't belong anymore. And I want us all to be, like you said, transparent enough and humble enough to do that. And also, and I think as we're losing our stories, that's happening because when you forget you have your story, when you forget the way you've been wronged or whatever, um, you start to kind of feel compassion for other people as well. And you start to realize these are just themes that we're pulling ourselves out of, pulling each other out of together. Nobody really has the monopoly on the sad story. We've all been through it. And that's the nicest part of this. I feel it's like just being able to look into each other's eyes and realize the story just seems to be forgotten. I was talking to a grandmother tree. She was talking to me, and she just showed me the memory when we were talking about story that everyone is all the bloodlines are already interwoven. Um, like she showed me like her root system, like the root systems of the trees were already interwoven. So there's no way we can prove one another is the bad guy or the good guy. It's impossible because we're all the one thing. So I'm really liking that advice from the grandmother tree at the moment.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's that's good. That's real good. And
Mm.
ultimately, especially, I don't want to just say people that are in, starseed groups or platforms or light workers or identify, because I think it could also be there's many people that are very spiritual and they may be
Yeah,
in a certain religion or whatever, but um, I just the day is coming, if it's not already here, that we're going to have to walk the talk, which is to accept what you're saying. Basically, is to accept everything,
yeah,
and if our stories, as you put it, and which is true, all of our pain is proportionate, is equal. It's just
yeah.
in proportion to our into our own life experience. So
Mm.
I kept getting this buzz the other day, and it was there's nothing personal. don't confuse personal with the programming. And so I'm like, oh,
Mm.
so like if everybody, as everybody understands, we've all been subjected to the same thing,
Yeah.
then there's nothing personal. We don't have
Mm.
to take anything personal anymore, you know? And
Yeah.
it's literally nobody's doing anything to us. Now, I know there's a lot of narratives and, you know, out there about this and that, but they're all stories. Every narrative is a story. You know,
Hmm.
there's 25
Yeah.
narratives with Three Eye Atlas. There's 5 million Anunnaki soldiers uh, that are in stasis that are going to land and take over the, you know, there's
Oh dear
this,
Lord.
there's that. But you know what I mean?
No, no, thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like but what you're saying is true. It's like nothing is sticking anymore but the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it defies physics, science, law, logic,
Hmm.
moral, ethical, everything. It's just the truth, period.
Yeah. Yes, those like modalities of measurement are meaningless because what is being measured has changed.
Hmm.
That's fun because then it's like that innocent perception is, well, perception is actually absorption, like allowing the thing to become part of you, and then it becomes words and thoughts and everything else. So that as the more mindless we can be, almost, the softer we can be, the more receptive we can be, the more we can actually feel into this paradigm and know what we're supposed to do here, how it's going to work. Because we are formulating or not, yeah, formulating, we're conducting the energies of this paradigm by the interplay with it. And it's everything is held by frequency key. So it's like when we choose love and delight and oneness and, bliss, we get the reward. And when we don't choose it, we get that, held in that pocket again, that pocket of pain or isolation. So we're learning it in a really basic way, like how children learn by bumping off one another, kind of.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's a whole different language. It's a whole different
Yeah,
bandwidth, a whole different
and that's the word.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's but it feels like this year's been like the summer was just hot, like burn, baby, burn. You know, it was just like, and but anyway, throughout the whole year, you can feel the expansion. You can feel the foundational, the base of this new grid. You can feel it. You can feel that no matter what happens, you wake up the next day and go, and you might be tired and like, oh my God, and can't do this again, or but you can feel the progress that's being made, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mm.
um and I was going to ask you too, I don't know, I have a feeling though because you're so tapped in, but I would say sometime in uh let's see, October November, like
Mm-hmm.
up until about 2 weeks ago or maybe even a week ago, I know that my root chakra was completely blown open, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
completely cleared. And it's so crazy because about 4 days ago, I woke up and I had something going on. I couldn't wee. And it was painful.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
this went on for like 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And finally the dam broke, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
realized in that moment that I'd shifted into the sacral now. Like it feels
Mm-hmm.
like, I guess what I'm saying is, if you have any information or whatever, but
Yeah.
it feels like the chakra channels are now opening. And maybe it's
Yeah.
a masculine thing, but in going up. Like,
No, it's yeah.
so
I
it's
would
like,
love to speak on that. Yeah.
yeah, please do. Because there was a,
Okay.
It was very
Can I
painful.
share a picture actually?
Yeah,
Can I share a
yeah,
picture?
yeah. Here, let me hang
Oh,
on.
okay. Because
Let's see.
this picture came to me in end of October,
Okay, good.
just before my birthday.
You
Can I
can,
do that?
yeah, you can do it.
Okay, let me find a photo. Let me find the best one because I have a few. Okay. I just want to show that picture. Okay. So at the end of October, this appeared in my room. Just there was no logical like there was no I don't want to say the word logical because we have a whole new logic now. But there was no boring explanation for it, let's say, right? There was no light source making that um, object. This and I tuned into it, and my I was on the phone with my friend Angela. We tuned into it, and it was told to us that it was a portal from Venus, which I had known. You know, I kind of knew that anyway, but um, I'll come back. So it was a portal from Venus. It was this, and it was streaming through these harmonics. It was called the goddess codes. These codes of, so we're talking about like, you know, when you said bandwidth, how to operate within this bandwidth. The every paradigm is held by harmonics. And it's been shown to me that this streaming of this just a clarity of the goddess harmonics, which is just the body of heaven and earth as one. Um, I'm getting like a ringing as I say that, was going to be the harmonics of our paradigm. So heaven and earth would be one. So that would mean the body would be heaven, like the body was being turned into a heavenly instrument. But just to talk about what you spoke of, the first time I saw that portal in an etheric way was over Giza. I'm not sure when that was, last year sometime. I became aware that there was, you know, when the frequency seeding took place, when the masculine and the feminine were kind of, and it's interesting that you say the word underpinning because the masculine and the feminine were pinned at that root place to create the frequency in seeding. I saw it in the testes in the masculine as crystals and the ovaries in the feminine as crystals. And there was false geometry placed, kind of pinned, and put those two at odds with each other within the body, within, you know, everywhere, humanity, obviously. And it was just shown to me that portal opened over Giza, that pink portal again. And I was just in ceremony with myself and my deceased mother and my daughter. And it showed me that that portal was returned, so that pinning was corrected. So like that masculine feminine union at that root level was cleared, and there was no more, because it was actually the masculine was also enslaved at that point, of course, as well as the feminine. We were told that the masculine was weaponized against the feminine. It was both. Both were weaponized against each other. So that's what I can, that's what I feel maybe that was, because when obviously when that portal opened in my room, that meant Venus was here and everything was going to be flooded with pink. Like, of course, like that wasn't going to just come into my room and head away. That was, we're all getting the pink. And you see that that pure love of Venus can is like the balm that is able to let everything fix itself because it's so benevolent and soft and tender that it just allows all those corrections that were going to take place anyway, just allows them to happen in a soft way. You know, like when you have an ache and you take a painkiller, when you don't feel the pain anymore, the injury heals itself. It's like that. It's almost like the painkiller, so you don't feel yourself healing, and then you're healed. You know. So I don't know if that kind of fits
When did
into your
no,
timeline.
that appear? When did you take that picture?
That was just like, was it after Halloween?
So it was
It was
very
just before
recent.
my yeah, my birthday's the 4th of November, so it was a few days before my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that would be kind of the timeline. I would
similar
say,
time.
yeah, I would say kind of the timeline for me would be, and I totally get what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
I've obviously connected to a feminine, you know, and we've had a hell of a journey. Uh,
yeah,
and uh, and so if I go back to like mid-September, I want to say it was the
mm,
18th of September, I got a download, and and from that point, the connection has, I don't know, it's kind of reflecting in a natural, organic way what you're talking about. And then,
hmm
you know, you know, symptom wise, you know, the what I described to you was what happened to me, which was my root was absolutely went through a remodeling or something for like a month. And then when I woke up that day 3 or 4 days ago, I thought to myself, you might have to go to the hospital. Like it was excruciating. I'm sure that it was probably similar to, you know, I know women get UTI infections, uh,
yeah,
but I knew it was energy. I knew it just like I knew
hmm
at the root. So I walked into town and I was going to go to a pharmacy and get something that they use for that type of thing. But my soul said, no, don't do that. Just go get some cranberry juice, get some water, uh, come back and just keep drinking the water. And you know, this is not what you think it is. I didn't know if it was a kidney stone or whatever those things are. You know, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I was able to tap in, and I did get a feeling of crystallization. Like,
yeah,
like you know, when I tapped in, it wasn't just like, you know, the guidance of don't get the medicine, because that's been a big thing for me, is detaching from all these things, right? You know, anything
mm,
that's anchoring me. That's my own story, but there was another piece that came in, and it was like I could see crystals, like
yeah,
crystallizing. So I was like, whoa. And so now it seems to be, uh, well, I mean, like creativity, the sacred sexual power is turning on. Like you don't even have to like go try to make anything happen here. You know, like I make
yeah,
music with my friends last night. We do that once a week. I can see it there. I can see it in them.
hmm
I could hear it in their stories the last two times we got together, beneath their words, because we improvise all the words. And it
hmm
was about their experience with the feminine.
hmm
It was very recent. It was
yeah,
like, you know, kind of like raw, and I'm spit out on the other side here now. And
hmm
gosh, you know, I mean, so I know it's not just me. And
no,
if the true masculine is anchoring, not just anchoring, but opening up and coming out now, then that would make sense. That would follow her, you know, having
hmm
landed and like you said, the pink was everywhere. But that's what I'm seeing now. Like I'm seeing
yeah,
she creates the field and
hmm
then he furthers it. Like she can't
yeah,
do, he has to build it. We used to say build it, but I'm seeing it as
yeah,
straight creativity, and that it's directly tied to what we call abundance. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking
yeah,
about abundance of life in all ways. Yeah, something
yeah.
like that.
And just to speak, the Venus, um, of course, there's men from Venus as well on this earth as women, like direct from Venus, right? We a lot of us have lots of bits and pieces, but there are very pure beings of Venus here already, with the masculine template and the feminine template as well. But yeah, no, I've had something too because emerging that within my womb, I can hear, I can audibly hear, um, the resonance between between the crystal of my ovaries, like as if it was, like you hit a crystal bowl kind of thing. But it's between it's I can feel the circuit of it, and that's what it's supposed to be, because the womb has always been emanating the harmonics of the paradigm, one way or the other. So when the womb was terrorized, and the women are the broadcasters of the signal, when the womb was terrorized and tied to the moon and the Baphomet, that was what was being broadcast. So we were emanating the sound field of, discord. And because the masculine in whatever sound field can only truly respond to the signal, you know. But obviously, in the last while, the sound field, as it was being returned to heavenly harmonics, which it is, I can say that now. I can say that Sophia's Pearl is what I have been called to see it as, is what the moon was the Sophia's Pearl is this core harmonic synthesizer within the earth. And that's just the words that came to me. And the moon was the inverted imitation of that. So the wombs now are to come into tune with Sophia's Pearl and to emanate that. And I can feel that. So we are now creating through our broadcast, which is just the natural way of women, the sound fields of bliss. So when you speak of all those functions coming back online, that's the angelic blueprint. The angelic lives in bliss. That's what it's like in heaven. That's what it's like here, because earth has attuned to heaven. It is one and the same. The body is the body of heaven now. And that is just becoming more known, and it can't be undone. The body is the body of heaven. Um, yeah.
No, I feel that. I feel everything you're
Yeah.
saying. That's another thing. Doing these shows this year, it's been different. Um,
Mm,
there's there's a well, there's a different bandwidth, and a lot of that
yeah.
bandwidth is telepathy. And
Mm,
so I have a conversation with someone like you, and there's so much I pick up that's not in the words. It's not. It's
yeah.
more like the frequency, like you said, the signal. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen, of course, with the work I do, I've, speak mostly to women over the years because they make up the majority of these communities, right? Um,
Yeah.
I know from talking to them that they've been waiting for this for a long, long time. And and you can tell this year, not to say that people haven't had bumps and bruises, but
Mm,
it seems like every time we go through it and it doesn't take as long, we get through the other side and
mm,
you go, oh, okay. It's making sense now. Oh yeah, it's making sense. And then all this stuff that's thrown at us all these years, it's like we're not even looking at it. Now I can go on the news feed and I'll see people taking uh, polarized positions on politics and this and that, and I understand how that works and all that. But it's not like it used to be. It's not like, even this three eye atlas, uh, it just seems like people are more present with themselves and they don't really have a choice. It just seems to be the direction that the universe is sending all of us is to be present with ourselves. And I know that sounds
yeah.
crazy in a world where you're supposed to serve, 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 and work for the man and retire at 70 and all the crazy stuff that was fed to us. But it does
Mm,
feel like that. And what excites me is one the feminine can't do it without the masculine can't do it without the feminine. But we know
mm,
the feminine dreams it. She creates the field. And
yeah.
then this is how we have these experiences. This is how we create new code by through the
Mhm,
masculine's efforts, his expressions of inspiration of her, basically. But what excites
mm,
me is I'm seeing the masculine energy now, this softer
Yes, we
version.
talked about this.
Right. I'm seeing this
Yeah.
happening. It's happening to me, and I'm seeing it with other
Mm,
people. Now I'm still seeing some of the, some of the language. I see some of the sisters out there, still saying, "Hey, you know, you know, get with it." They're still kind of beating up on the dudes, but you said it at the beginning. It's both. He was
Yeah.
weaponized against her, and she was weaponized against him, and it was
Hmm.
all programming and fuckery. And
Hmm.
now it's gone. The lines are gone, right? And we're just
Yeah.
blinking our eyes and throwing water on our face and going, "Is this real?" Because this the reason it's so profound is because it literally neutralizes all the BS, all these things, everything.
Mm,
Whether you want to clean the ocean, whether you want to, whatever it is, it's an automatic harmonizer, equalizer. Should should a soul choose to continue down that path, because there's a seems like there's a strong possibility that this whole thing about two earths has some validity too, where there may be a realm that we've come from, or a paradigm that we've come from, that will continue for, in perpetuity, for souls that choose to go have that experience as we did.
mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but there's definitely uh, a high frequency, new geometry, new language, new math, uh, timeline here that
Mm.
isn't getting any press as far as I'm concerned. I don't hear about it on talk shows and stuff. You hear people talking about awakening and spirituality and a lot of the disclosure topics and narratives and conspiracy topics, and that's all fine and dandy. But we're the story. We're the story,
Mhm.
and that's what I'm seeing more and more. I'm seeing it in the people I talked to on this show this year, because not only is their soul showing up, their human is. And
Yeah.
that humility that you're talking about, I'm seeing a lot of that
Mm.
with the people, that I'm sharing
Yeah.
space with.
That's beautiful. I want to talk about the what you said about the masculine energy being softer, because I didn't honor that when it was being said, but definitely. And like the truth of, as we are not, we are understanding, and I know what you're saying. I still see that. I still see women who wish to expand and wish to embody, but still carry the shield and the sword. And it just doesn't work like that. Like what you said, the masculine is needed for that, in that it grounded expansion. Like there's no other way. So that will just be learned by each individual but it is a little bit painful to look at, but it's understandable. But it's, yeah, I offer grace with that. But as we approach it, like from that point of view of compassion, and it's kind of impossible not to feel compassion at this stage. You know, if we're losing our story, and that means we're losing our defenses, because if we have no story to remember, we have nothing to defend. And this is how we can almost blend into one. This is really good for me because I have no boundaries because I'm water, right? So this is the perfect place for me to be, because it was always I remember still joking with my friend last night. We went somewhere and there was a lot of people that didn't like us there because of rumors and different things. This was like a year or two ago. And I just said to her, I just hugged them all because I forgot that they were supposed to hate me and I was supposed to know. I just gave them a hug. And she was like, "Me too. I was just chatting to them." And then they were looking at me funny. And so it's a joy, for that way of being, that way that could never really understand all of the false definitions and boundaries that people had between each other, feeling that return to the one wave. And Yeah, feeling that return to the one wave where everyone, that is what we are supposed to be. We're supposed to feel each other in compassion as one so that we don't hurt each other. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Everyone is. It's not linear. We're making observations, and I'm happy that you shared that because I didn't want to come across like I'm throwing shade at anyone because I love the sisters. But it's
Hmm.
painful. It's painful to,
Yeah.
and another thing that's kind of happened this year too is it's kind of hard to get instruction anymore. Uh, Something's happening. Like we're self-sourcing. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what we say to somebody else or what they tell us. Something's happening to where we're having to think for ourselves. So yeah, the bugs will get worked out. But back to that feminine and the masculine thing. Yeah, I think part of it too is that, you know, we know that in divine neutrality, we accept all points of dark and light, right? By the same token, if you look at masculine and feminine, you can just change the words light and dark, masculine, feminine. You know what I mean? Day and night, whatever the case is. But I cannot be in my, I'm going to be in my masculine power to the degree that I am in my feminine power. If I have, and that's one thing that's happened to me recently, is I've gone through a process of a few months where I came to terms with the deepest program that I have. And it was from day one. And it was all over my life. I just and it had to do with the feminine. Uh, and when I got to the end of the journey, maybe this was right before the whole thing with the roots started, I started to realize it wasn't about any of them. The mother, the ex, the daughters, the the sisters, the my partner, none of it. It wasn't about them. It was about, uh, I guess, coming into awareness of my own feminine and being comfortable with it. See, I think a lot of men know that they have a feminine side. I don't give a shit what they say. And this is why we were kind of standoffish or, like got to be tough and all that stuff because, I remember one of the memories I had over this period of time was when I was a kid, when I was very young, and I was at school in like, I want to say like second or third grade and I was being made fun of because I was a sensitive guy, you know. And then I had to go through the thing, and my brother taught me how to fight, and then I started going down that road. But my point is that there was a part of me that got left behind, uh, and that was that soft part, that intuitive part, even I would say that it was okay. It's okay to be tapped into your feminine nature. And, I know we talk about these things over the years, but I got to tell you, when this happened to me 2, 3 months ago, I didn't just say it. I felt it. Like I'm sitting there having a conversation with the two parts of me. Oh, this is how it works. Oh, this is
Hmm.
how it works. This is how this one listens to that one, and this is how this one listens to that one, because it's two different ways.
Hmm.
I mean, and again, I don't hear a lot of this being discussed. It's not pretty words. This is happening real time to people all over the place.
Yeah. I've seen that with and I spoke that with my friend as well, that because of this, just the sound waves, the paradigm becoming so soft and full of color and alive and rich again, and we are absorbing that. I said it will um, bring men into feeling their feminine and, finding the way of that, finding what that feels like. And I'm witnessing that as well. And it's like a boyish return, to being able to because I know there was always because the subconscious, let's say, which people call the feminine, which is what I say. I don't even use that word anymore. I use the sound body, the subtle body is the feminine side of us. And to me, this has been just a complete reclamation of that subtle consciousness by the mother for all of us so that we can be the place, like you said, the every one of us to intuitively feel the paradigm we're in as it is, and also then to emanate ourselves so we can be felt and actually multiply and to resonate. So that to me is the feminine side of all of us is that part. But I know we spoke before about like what the masculine side is. And I said to you, all I ever had was something I kind of made up from witnessing, this kind of like how to get through hardship, how to persevere. But what's happened since I've moved into this house, I moved house, and this house is stone, and it's like a very old house, and it's stone, and it has crystal in the stone, like quartz. It's limestone. And so this, I don't know if this is even true because I am so much in the subtle consciousness that I find it hard to actually be conscious of myself, if you know what I mean. Like that's where I am. But the house did speak to me and it spoke to me of my bones and of the strength of my bones, the strength of the house. And because when I was here, I had to do like so much physical, insane amounts of physical hard work. And it was somehow that became my inner masculine was stone, ancient stone, and not in that way of like the masculine that gets burnt out, that gets abused and sacrificed and brought to nothing, but in this like almost like my grandfather inside me or like the house around me. So that's what came through for me with the masculine, because we spoke about that before.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that. And it
Yeah,
just seems like a whole different world.
doesn't
It's
that?
like, well, I mean, it's there's in it, I've always said, as the individual goes, so goes the collective. If it's happening to me, it's got to be happening. And again,
Mm,
it's not linear. I get that, but the lines are disappearing, like you said. And what have we been doing the entire time? We've been integrating polarities. We've been bringing two ends of the spectrum together to a 0 point, to neutrality. I mean, this is ultimately what we're doing. And it's one way to say it. And the last line of separation is our masculine and feminine. But I'm here to tell you that I'm experiencing it. And it can't be, I'm seeing it out there. Now I'm seeing breakups and makeups, and you're seeing, all kinds of different dynamics there. We talked about that a lot. All of us did, about the things that wouldn't go with us. Um, but there is a new line of communication occurring, and it can be much explained much differently than just masculine and feminine. It has to do with the silence, fewer words, less explanation, uh, granting space, allowing space, providing safety to speak, ultimately to be yourself, which is crazy. So imagine that we're all 4 years old again with the curiosity and nature of a child that hasn't been tainted, that has no inhibitions or self-consciousness, and you're just being yourself. This is energy I'm talking about. It's not stories. This is energy. And that's the other thing you were talking about too. Not only is it what you were saying, it's contagious. It doesn't operate like 1 + 1 = 2. It doesn't operate that way. This is like beyond quantum, and it's trippy because we're still in this body, but we're not. I used to say that to myself all the time, but I'm still in this body. And what I'm hearing the last few weeks is, when I'm in communion, It's, well, you're really not in this body. I'm not in this. Well, this isn't the entirety of your body. It would be more, I think, be
Hmm.
more accurate. And then with the things that have been going on with my body this year, the way it's communicated to me, it's the way it things have happened to me, like injuring myself, so I could learn the lesson, like you were talking about earlier at the beginning.
Yeah.
All these things have happened on the right side of my body to be reclamated. My foot, my ankle, my knee, my elbow, my shoulder. Like I was damaged,
Yeah.
my eye, everything's on the right side, you know. I even had this thing the other day where I had this pain in my right lung for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I thought, oh my God, I'm dying.
Mhm.
But I also at the time realized, oh, wait, this is energy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of a weird trip. And I think,
Yeah.
you know, it's not that easy to really explain things because everything's happening at a kind of at a knowing, an innate knowing level. Um,
Hmm.
we might just need to walk around and just tell each other, "Hey, I get it."
It's like when you say the vastness of the body. So if the body is sound and there's a source sound and we are that source sound and we are what we are right now with the appearance of form, but we are still just vibrational, a vibrational, a patterned thing. There's something about that channel of sound that we are that is just making the perception, the absorption of this paradigm so incredibly vast. And like, you know, what you say, it's like it's all this one feeling. It's not like we don't give each other guidance. We can't teach each other really. We can help each other. We can definitely hold hands and help each other, pull each other out of spots. But there's something there where it's like in any dimension, and I don't even use the word dimensions because I see it like one huge sound wave. We cannot be convinced of anything. We cannot be convinced of to breach the body. And within that sound body, that sealed sound body, light, because light is born from sound. And this is where, so when you speak about that, the angelic masculine showing itself, to me, that's what that feels like. It's like the will of the sound body, the light body is the will of the sound body, the animus of the sound body. And that's the true masculine, you know? Like in me at this time, it was like the stone with the crystal, and the stone had it, and I was told by the stone, stone likes to dance too. Stone has likes to hear the song playing through it too. That's what the stone is for. It's the eternal upholding of the body. And it's more than what is already upheld. It is constantly forming stone. This is where the volcanoes come in the masculine. This ability to create new land, new stone. Um, yeah, I think this is really fun to kind of allow the angelic masculine to just present itself this way and see what it is. After all of the other stuff we've been trying to, figure out.
Well, it's definitely turned on,
Yeah.
and I don't know how it all went down or but there's there's no question that it's turned on. Like it's
Yeah.
and maybe they both, things happen in the energetic field first. We know that. But so this year has just been uh mind blowing. And the rate of advancement or expansion or whatever you want to call it, evolution, has increased so much. in these last few weeks. It's like on
mm,
turbocharge. And
mm.
and I feel like that's a big part of that reason is because the two hemispheres, the two genders, whatever you want to put it, they're coming together. And I've also
Yeah.
experienced this a little bit, but I've heard other people talking about it and writing about it. And that's like weird stuff going on in their skull. Like,
Mm.
like gears turning, or they feel like something gets poked in there, or, different things
Wow.
like that. The other thing too is I do a lot through lucid dreams, and
Mm.
I'm still getting those, but not all the time, not like I used to. And what I'm understanding is that we're doing a heck of a lot. Most of the work we're doing is, well, I'm not saying this is the gospel truth. I'm just saying this is what my soul's told me. But most of the work that I'm doing, like, don't sweat it here because it's only like this much of the work. It's important. It's
Hmm.
absolutely the driver in a certain way, like the things that we think and say and do, our integrity, our intentions, our unconditional love, etc. But the massive amount of work that we're doing in what we call dream state, and then the kind of the connection between awake, what we call awake state, and the dream state is starting to kind of filter through. It's almost
Yeah.
like, I've had many experiences this summer in town when I walk around where I feel like I'm in a lucid dream, and things will just start happening, and an animal will come up to me, or this will happen, or that'll happen, or, just, you know, things that I can see with my physical eyes, but I can see the symphony of it, the orchestration of everything, and it feels lucid. Coincidences, which we know aren't coincidences. I call them physical synchronicities, keep happening, and they're just happening more and more every single day. So I don't know. You know, we have a guy come on. Well, it's a couple, Gareth Jenkins from Melbourne and Katie Kiss from the Northeast U.S. They come on every Tuesday, and he
Hmm.
he got turned on 90s. He
Hmm.
he's very tapped in about. He's almost at the same level of experience and explanation that Franco had, you might say. And so he's real tied in with the Arcturians. And when he first came on, we did a show about 3 months ago, the first time, and he was telling me that they said to him that literally you will not recognize yourselves by the end of the year. And it
Wow.
and it resonated with me. I thought, you know what? I've heard
Mm.
that before, but this one really sounds like,
Mm.
like something's going to affect every single soul on the earth, or we're going to come into a certain level of collective awareness like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't how this game works. This
Yeah.
is who we are, or this is the way it's supposed to be. And I wonder about that. This is only we only got what, 6 weeks to go, so a lot can
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
I feel it. Um, I feel, I don't know if yeah, I'm gonna just say it. This is unusual for me to actually say a date and to pick something and ground it. That must be my masculine side coming to life. Um, December 21st, it's my mother's birthday. Also, I there's stuff to do with Three Eye Atlas that day, right? But I don't know what has been
Three Eye
written on that.
Atlas. I believe Three Eye Atlas. You're right. I think it's either the
Yeah,
19th or the 21st, but that's the day that it's closest to the Earth. That's what it is.
yeah.
So there
Something's
was,
gonna,
yeah,
yeah.
there was a date, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was at the end of October. I want to say the 29th, and it had to do with the position of Three Eye Atlas, which I think had to do with the sun, maybe, and or Venus. I can't remember, but I remember understanding that that was the corridor. The corridor was from that first one to the date you're talking about, and also that's the solstice.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's the solstice. Um, I was made to do this. Like this was pushed through me as a really strong impulse. I was called to this castle in Ireland, and afterwards I found out it was the home of the last High King in Ireland, Brian Boru. I didn't know this at the time, so I went in and I was being called into a specific room, and I went with the person that was showing me around, and as soon as I went into the room, I felt this resonance in my heart. And so I knew that was the room. And then so many, like you said, so many the symphonic things happening around me. Like I was like, I'm living in a dream. So somehow I get to conduct this dream now because everything is touchable. When I was a little girl, in my sleep, I used to be within the stars and I used to draw the patterns of the stars. I would draw geometries and like move the stars around in my sleep. And as I'm here witnessing all these amazing things, I'm realizing somehow I'm conducting this, but I'm not. But it's because I listened to this divine impulse in the heart that all of a sudden I'm standing within a dream because this divine impulse always leads you. It is the conductor of symphony, so it always seems to lead us into the most beautiful transcendent states. Um, but in that, what I was asked to do then um, was to gather the women together, the women who wanted to proclaim their spot as a queen of peace, as someone who knew how to stand somewhere and literally through embodied harmony compel harmonic symphony with the room, the field, the turbulence, the people, the energies around her. And I was asked to do that by the heart of within this room, the heart of this last High King of Ireland. And I was shown that this gathering of these women, and it had to be women from all over, bringing in so like every blood song was brought together. And somehow the harmonizing of our song and our togetherness, which would mostly just be laughter, I would say, but somehow this would create this bubble of intensity that would birth this heart of cardinal direction, like this heart of the cross star portal, the one trajectory for the whole song body of humanity. So that's what's happening with me and my friends on the 21st of December. So that's going to be beautiful. Dromoland Castle.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I actually grounded Todd. I'm here. I'm a real person.
Well, I mean, but I don't see how, I never have, how we could, as we evolve, as we transform, and there's plenty of evidence that's even affected our physicality. Uh, and so I've always thought that, at some point there's going to be other elements in our experience that haven't been here, just like we've had stuff shut down in us. It's as within, without. So you show that incredible picture of that portal, and portals have been in my field for the last maybe month. Uh, I've had some experiences out here with a particular one at the beach that's been very interesting. But my question is, to me, it seems inevitable. But if you're having a portal appear in your room, I know there's a bunch of other sisters out there. It's got to be happening too. And I feel that, as above, below, we are free. We're the free energy of the universe. We're free souls. And
Yeah.
and free souls are not limited by geography or any other energy or whatever. So I'm just wondering if we're going to have the availability of portals to be able to travel, to
Mhm.
I guess dematerialize and rematerialize from the human perspective. But yeah, I feel like that, and actually, I feel like a lot of this stuff is already out there, and it's
Mhm.
being hidden. Like it's being
Yeah.
hidden. There's a whole other thing, secret space program, blah blah blah, underground bunkers, things that we don't that we don't know about. But
Mhm.
everything's coming to the surface.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just feel like that's going to be part of our of my experience, and I do believe too that the inner Earth families, you might say,
Yeah.
the inner Earth civilizations or whatever, uh, are going to have a part of that too. That
Yeah.
that's going to be part of our, uh, I would say, in the near future, part of our experience. It's going to be
Mhm.
in our awareness. Imagine if the whole world, just as one subject, imagine if the whole world knew without a doubt, oh, we've got family in the inner earth, or maybe they're standing right next to us. And
Yeah.
because we're transforming, we're able to see more of the visible, our visible light spectrum becomes broader.
Mhm.
A lot of people have talked about new geometries. They've talked about off planet colors coming in,
Yeah.
things like that. Um,
Mhm. That makes that feels like a perfect multiplication of what's happening. Like you said, it feels inevitable. Um, because as we're removing dissonance seems to me to be the only distance, to be the only resistance. As all that dissonance, disharmony is being removed, and once the harmonics are returned, what is happening then with the will, the light body, the that impulse of the heart, the golden orchestrator of the whole thing. What is happening as that subconscious where, let's say the fallen impulses kept rising from and generating constant, bad spirits and the phantom realm essentially was generated from those fallen spirits with a fallen will, let's say, like a black sun will. As the sound body is compelling because it's so harmonious and so beautiful, it's compelling the remembrance and the birth of the golden will, the divine will within each person. And it just feels like that those fallen will, like those impulses, the compulsion to do um, deviant, strange, perverse things, I feel is leaving our consciousness. And then the phantom pockets that they generate that then take the energy and that we believe in them to the point where we can even see them and feel them, um all of that leaving. And like you said, the perception, that when we say our perception is broadening, all that means is our sound waves are unimpeded. There's no impediment to our absorption of everything, one and other. That's what it feels like. We're just absorbing everything into harmony. You know.
true empathic.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like that's a good example. I mean, that's really the reality. We have been a part of a realm that we believe I'm only here. And I know that
Yeah.
sounds crazy. This is a strong experience or series of incarnations or however you want to look at it. This is a huge thing that this endeavor that we've taken on that's coming to its point of origin, returning to create. We yeah, I mean we've created new code. We've we've done all these things, the traumas, all this stuff. And you know what I was feeling earlier in the year after the after the last solstice in December, I was picking it up from people that I was doing shows with too. And that was, and we've all been there. It's like, you know what? I've had enough of this. Like I'm not taking this anymore. And we've all had those moments where you want to get out of here. I've even had them as a few days ago. But but think about that in terms of energy. We all just say right here, hey, no, I'm done. I'm done. Then energetically, like I don't think we could have done that before. Not across the board. We might do it with one aspect of our life or one person or our boss or our partner or something. I'm not taking this anymore. No, this
Yeah.
is like the whole thing. Like this isn't cool. What's happening to
Hmm.
the children, that's not cool. This isn't cool. That's not cool. You can
Hmm.
look at many different things.
Hmm.
But the reality is those things are there because they've been in here.
Yeah.
You talked about the things that got fooled with and everything. Yeah, this, like my soul's been saying, it don't get confused. Don't take it personal. It's just programming. Whether it's
Yeah.
you judging yourself or whether you're looking at somebody else or something else,
Hmm.
you know. I remember Franco talking about this time specifically in the last 2 or 3 months that he was with us. And I remember him telling me, telling all of us that even being on the phone and looking at things is going to
Hmm.
no longer hold water. You won't
Yeah.
be your energy won't be able to do it. It just won't.
Yeah.
It's not a boredom thing. It's just like it just doesn't work anymore. This doesn't work anymore. And I think what we're going to find here, this is where I'm going, is creativity, is
Yes.
collaboration, creativity. Uh, it's it's a whole different thing. Like the first whatever 12, 13 years of Soulogy, my time. I'm just talking about my time, my habits, my practices, the energy I put into it every day, the planning. It's not there anymore. It's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing. I'll do like, I just did this yesterday. I sent out like 20 different invitations and stuff, put the dates that were available. Nobody double booked.
Oh,
Nobody,
wow.
nobody double booked. Everything just fell in place. She said, hey, let's do it tomorrow. I'm like, yes, that's really what I wanted. I wanted to get another show for tomorrow. And,
Yeah.
I know that's short notice for people, but yeah, so everything just kind of unfolds naturally. Like
Mm.
this brother Gregory Jones with infusedlights.com, which everybody should go visit that site, man. This guy's amazing. He just starts making these shorts for me. He just like, I'm told to do this. I've got to do this for you. I'm like, oh my God, wow.
Wow.
All I got to do is just put them out there. Listen to him,
I
put them
love
out.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he's helping other people. But yeah, but see, the thing is, we don't have a contract. We don't have, it's just this is what we're doing. you know
Hmm.
I mean, I mean, I'm not a practitioner, but all light workers uh have lived a different kind of financial existence than, you know what I mean. I don't even know how we all made it, but
Me neither.
you know what I mean. So
You've done well.
yeah, it's not about that. It's literally,
Yeah.
to me, this creativity is a direct relationship. I'm convinced that my root is cleared out, my sacral's clearing out, I'm going up the chakra channel, my voice, both literally and figuratively, is, the creativity, the sacred sexuality, the power, the strength, the creation, creative,
Yeah.
is directly linked to what we refer to as abundance.
Yeah.
Abundance in love,
Yes.
abundance in resources, abundance in everything. Because we're being almost like the perfect conduit.
Yeah.
We're doing what the universe put us here to do, which is to create, to go play, go have some fun. And there's real power in that. And it's
Mm.
not trademark, copyrights, uh, possession. We don't own anything, people. Nothing.
Yeah.
See, all these things are inevitable that we can't be prejudiced and biased because it's not part of us.
Hmm.
This we're pure, and that's
Yeah.
not just some hokey talk. We're spirit flesh, and this is the grandest experiment of them all, and we're on the other
Mhm.
side of it now.
Homeward bound.
So who
But
knows
isn't,
who
yeah.
knows what the limit is, right?
Well, isn't that the masculine truly is the conduit and the conductor? That's what that feels like. I'd love to share another photo, Todd. Just when you spoke
Go ahead.
about like things are pretty cool. I get told I'm very impulsive, so I kind of just do what I'm told. I don't have much resistance in me to my impulses. So I just wanted, so I was told to go take a photo of the sun this day. But went out and took this photo of the sun, and I see this geometry around the sun. And it came to me that we are, like what you said about, I think you said, um, there's new codes of creation. It felt to me that we were, from our position here on this beautiful singing bowl, which is the earth. Earth is the harmonizer, the synthesizer, the heart of the core processor of the universe. And it felt to me that we have encoded, or we are encoding the sun with our geometries, which geometries meaning our thought forms born of these harmonious sound waves that we are receiving, and they formulate within us these rising thought forms, which are geometry seeds, essentially. And honestly, I felt like we were sending these to the sun, and the sun was bringing them into operating frequency. That's what I felt like. That's what it felt like. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
I
In this
think that's
paradigm, it makes sense.
I think that's right.
Mm,
I
yeah,
feel that's right. I feel like, yeah, everything we're looking at, it's coming from
yeah,
us.
yeah.
But it's and I love that picture, by the way. I've never seen uh what is
Isn't that
that, like a
cool?
hexagon or
Yeah,
that.
around the sun.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I do sun gaze, and I try to, 3 or 4 times a week. I love to connect with the sun here at the beach. And um one thing that I noticed is, I think it was in 2017, about this time of year. And I don't know what was going on. It was high energy. I remember that. And I was on the road and doing a spirit walk, and I remember having a exchange with the sun. And what happened was, I know a lot of people can relate, like some geometry came out of it, but then it turned blue, like dark blue, and then it exploded pink. And that was the first time I ever saw that, which I've seen many times since, including the picture you showed earlier. And I had a couple other after that. I had one like in 21 or 22, where I had another episode with the sun. But it never sustained itself. It didn't happen all the time, those kind of things. Well, here recently, over the last few weeks, it's happening every day. If I go out there, immediately I'm getting pinks and greens and blues, and rays coming down and geometry coming out. I'm like, whoa. I close my eyes and I can just see the patterns. So there's definitely it. Somebody's, I guess we've turned the volume up.
That's amazing. So that feels like you're both encoding the sun and receiving the codes fueled with the sun's power.
Mm.
That's what that feels like somehow.
Well, the nice thing about doing it at the bays here, since I've been in Mexico, there's been three different bays I've been at, 4 different bays. This one the longest, and this one's really special because it's like a giant cove, because there's mountains. It's like a sea. So there's mountains to the left, there's mountains on the right, then there's the opening of the bay to the ocean. So the mother's energy is very, very strong, extremely powerful. Like I've had a lot of experiences, not so much lately, but during the summer, I had a lot of experiences out there, a lot of direction from her, uh, because it was an intense time. I
Mm.
don't know that we even had time to stop and think about it, but I don't know how your summer went, but yeah, it
I
was
can't
hard and heavy,
remember.
man. It was, yeah, exactly right.
I moved house. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right
I
though.
went to, yeah, it was. I went to the sea. I went on holiday for a few days because I just knew you need to get into the Mediterranean for what's coming. Like, to prepare myself. But yeah, it's only kind of now in the last couple of weeks I'd say things are feeling, yeah, like a massive struggle has been released, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's sure. I know it was released from my sacral.
Hmm.
I thought
That's
I was gonna,
amazing.
I thought I was gonna pass a baby or something. I didn't know what was going on. But you know how it is when you start to have something like that happen. You start getting into, I fall into my human. I'm like, oh my God, I'm
Yeah,
dying. I've had
I'm
prostate.
dying. Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
And
I
but
know.
yeah, I think what you said is right. I mean, it's yeah, we just gone through some major stuff here,
Hmm.
you know. And then that comet coming in, which I look at more just as energetically, like
Yeah.
metaphorically, like what is the influence? What is the energy of just like a star or a planet? What's the significance of it? I mean, it's something that everybody can see. It's something
Yeah.
apparently that everybody can say, okay, well, that's there. It's a new
Yeah.
twist in our life. It doesn't happen very often in history. I mean, it does, but this is a who knows what we're getting. I guess we're getting a Christmas present. Sounds like.
I think so. I can't really say too much without just projecting, but it definitely feels benevolent and like a return of self and a return of it's connected to, plasma injections, which are connected to that coding of the sun, right? Um, I don't know the words. I just know it's all good, and it feels great, you
Mm.
know.
Well, I mean, there's so many ways to look at it. Um, but if I feel like that we all can say, hey, I know I'm always surrounded by whatever you want to call it, my guides, angels, team, soul
Mhm.
family. We've all had too many answered prayers. There's just no way,
Yeah.
you know? So we're kind of like in this dream within the dream,
Hmm.
and there is an orchestration to it.
Yeah.
There is a collaboration to it. There's a purpose to it. And there's also this human condition, where, when people say, it upsets me when people say, hey, they're not ready to know this yet. So much of this
Yeah.
world is, they're hiding the esoteric knowledge and etc. But I can also see where, how when somebody transitions, and there's a lot of stories, and some of us have had experiences where they cross over and they have to be kind of debriefed. Hey, that wasn't real, because it's such a, we're so deeply embedded. So imagine the whole world like that. So I
Yeah.
feel, I feel like what you're talking about is, how that happens, I don't know, but it is some kind of signal that, hey, we're going to start stepping in here now, and we're going
Mm.
to debrief the whole world at the same time. You know what I mean? So
You
people don't
know,
lose it.
I'd love to, yeah, I'd love to speak a bit more on that because as you start talking more, my memory came to me. Me, so what I know it to be, okay, this is what I know 3i Atlas to be. So I'm just getting just more into my own kind of truth now without, because a moment ago I was trying to almost think about all the different things people have said. So I'm just going to not do that. But everything, so like when we spoke of that, and it all ties in, which is perfect, how this conversation is making And I knew this would be a really grounding conversation because everything's tying in. So when we talked about that, the pinning of the masculine and the feminine against each other, this all ties in because that was what allowed the frequency seeding of falling or fallen species, races into our, I don't know the way of it either, how it all done, but into our sound bodies so that their frequency intention could be carried through. So they would not be lost, they would be held, but they would be bound by sound. So the mother, our body, our sound body, would actually carry the frequencies of the universe in all of the, it was really a cacophony because if you think of like they were falling or fallen species that were at odds with each other, so there was a warring, um, it was a forceful seeding. It was done by force. To me, this implemented, thank you for grounding me because it's all just like streaming in, like and just like that. It's like it feels like honestly that that created Star Wars in the blood, cosmic war within our blood. We became the place of um, all that there was, all frequencies of the universe running through our blood, and us in constant reenacting all of these fights and the hierarchies of species within Earth. Species isn't the word, I think races, all and cultures, which we had always been harmonious before that imposed frequency seeding. So what seems to me to be happening now, because I know this, that all of those species, or whatever they call them, like universal frequencies, and they are just frequencies, they take form in front of us. So even like the Anunnaki or whatever, they look formed. They are, yeah, but it's every form is a sound body, right? So it's not even. So how do we contend with these? What I was shown was happening, and this is why we were all on the way to the sun. The sun was being reborn to allow for this. And I was shown that all of these, through the gatekeepers, because I was asked to do this to send everything back to the sun, but I didn't want to pass it through me because I did that with the Archon and I thought I was going to die. So I said there must be another way. And I was shown that each, like, the gatekeeper of these species could be opened into a living portal, and their every entity of their frequency could leave the earth, return to the sun, but turn, I didn't know this bit, now turn back around. So they're coming back now to be reharmonized. So we can't actually get rid of anything. It's all coming back now to be reharmonized. And Earth has been returned to the this core synthesizer, which is, it is beautiful, it is so blissful, it is unable to receive anything but through love because there is a vortexing, like the vortex at the top of our head, it's only receiving in this, like everything that comes in through that vortexing motion becomes love. So everything, all those frequencies that were in the first instance violently seeded are now, have now been sent to the sun and are now returning purified to resume to bring a golden operating tone, the Christ consciousness, which allows absolute orchestration, harmonized orchestration of everything that there is. That's where I am with that.
Wow,
That just came.
that was that was the highlight of the whole show right there.
Why we need to talk, Todd. Otherwise, these things stay
Yeah,
up
we
in
should.
my big head.
Yeah, we should talk
You
again
know?
next. We should do this again
Yeah,
next month too. You know what we should
because
do?
they never come
Huh?
down. They just stay up there in my head,
We
floating.
should do. We should get together again, like right around the
Yeah.
21st, like the 19th or
Yes.
yeah. Let's do that. Yeah,
God,
I'll send you
God
some
knows
dates.
what we'll say. Yeah.
But I just want to restate one thing you said because it is reality, and that is that nothing goes away.
Yeah.
Everything that we know of is a part of us. Everything. It can't
Mm,
be that people over there and those people over there. I mean, it's we're the whole thing here. And another thing that Gareth has received in his connection is that this the information that he received from the Arcturians was that this is the reason Earth was created, to bring a balance.
mm,
That's why it was seeded, with everything.
mm,
And I remember talking about this 7, 8 years ago on the show. Like I was told, my soul told me, when you guys get done, you will be universal soldiers. You'll be able to go anywhere because you'll carry the code of everything. So,
mm.
you know, I feel like we've turned a corner, and I don't I don't buy anybody's predictions about the years, or it's going to be 5 years. I don't. I think it's up to us. It's up to
Mm.
us, and
Yeah.
we've earned it. So
Haven't we just had? Yes, we
I tell,
have.
yeah, I had a rough time about a week
Hmm.
ago with this whole root thing and then the sacral thing, and I was just like, you know what, I knew to be careful. It was right before
Hmm.
the sacral thing, and I was telling the universe, I'm like, we're having a meeting, you know, like this is, I'm not happy. I think I want.
Things are gonna change around here.
I'm like, I think I want to go. I think I'm ready to go.
Me too,
And
actually.
but I
A week or
knew,
two ago. Yeah.
right? I knew my
I
soul was
said
like,
that.
oh,
I said, sorry, I
go
just
ahead.
want to, because I want to be, I just
No, go
said,
ahead.
send me what I need. I do not want to be here anymore. I just screamed it into the universe. I said, I do not want to be here anymore like this. So
Well,
yeah,
see,
I gave
I'm
out too.
thank God I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Well, my
Mm,
soul piped in though and says, "Be careful, be
mm,
careful." And I was like, "Oh, I've heard that before." Like like you talked about, like getting hit with the 2x4, getting that shove, when you're not listening. I said, "Okay," And then the next day, I think I started having that problem, and I thought I was dying, you know. Um, but oh, I forget where I was going with that. Oh, I know what it is. No, yeah, I have my moments like that, but primarily over the last few months, I make the statement, I want to live here for another 800 plus years. I believe this is part of the process for us, because we don't have to transition.
mm.
We do it in form, and maybe that's a pipe dream. Maybe maybe that'll never happen. I don't know, but I'm not buying into this game anymore. I'm not doing it. The aging, I mean, everybody's, their diets are changing. I've only slept through the night once in the last month. I go
Yeah.
to bed it's weird. I started going to bed earlier. I go to bed at 10. I wake up at 12:30. I go back to bed. I wake up at 3:30, then 5:30, then set, and I'm like, what is going on here? 2 hours of sleep, and then you're up for an hour. Then, I mean, everybody's rhythms, everything's
Yeah.
changing. Everything's changing here. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, I'll reach out to you. Uh, you should,
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, because it really
yeah,
helps bring things into, out into reality for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I mean, to me, it's why I love doing this, because,
mm.
it's like, this is the newest code. You start having a
Yeah.
conversation, and you start getting things turned on in you, or you hear something from the other one, and you're like, oh my God, boom, 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 boom. And you don't even
Yeah.
know it in its fullest until the next couple of days. Oh my God, that happened. This happened. But
Yeah.
yeah, I really feel like that the openness is a really powerful um, method
Yeah.
that's coming in to play now. Without the agendas, without the egos,
Hmm.
without concern for, am I going to get my bills paid, or just going to work and talking about what's happening.
Yeah.
We're doing good. We're kicking ass.
We
Been a
are
hell,
doing good.
been a long road though.
I know, and that I wanted to say that to people, like this angelic human that is like this blueprint internally, like you said, all these renewed functions, remembered functions. We're all supposed to be together, and we have been battered, right? We know of some people who didn't make it or have made it, but are maybe heavily medicated, maybe with addiction, maybe sedated, whatever. They're not able to. They're in their own way, but they're not. What I'm saying is, we're lucky to be standing. So it's. I just want people not to wait until they are perfect
Yeah,
to come out of their shell, because every single person, like, don't get caught up in your own suffering, because I promise you, if you ask any single one of us, we could all tell you a story. Everyone has their suffering story, and we're all a little bit battered and, bruised, but we're good enough. So don't wait until you're perfect, because it's not going to happen.
no, no,
Just
it's
come out now and have fun.
the perfection of it is jumping into the arena. The
Yeah,
perfection of it is that spontaneity, right?
yeah,
That's part of that childlike wonder, is to do things as they come to you. That's why I love doing the show. That's why I love making music with my brothers and Ty. It's because like yesterday, we have a little group chat, and Ty sent something in because he's an astrologer. He's the best astrologer I've ever met. And so he sent a note, and we hadn't really talked since last week, and he says, "Well, there's been two dark moons, and a phoenix is rising, and a new moon. This, and I could just feel his his experience." And I'm like, "Oh my
yeah.
God, that's where I was. Is that what that was? Like, what the hell just happened?" You know? But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But it's good. It's good to just turn on the microphone and or just meet someone for a cup of coffee and just
yeah,
start letting it out. It's
yeah.
legit, it's real, it's relevant, and it's becoming more obvious. The things that we've done, all of our journeys, and together, it was the real deal. And I
Hmm.
believe we're going to find out it's a lot bigger than we even thought.
I think so. I think that's what's coming for us.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
Mm.
send you some dates, and
Yeah, thank you
yeah,
so much, Todd. This has
yeah.
been
Thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
missed you. Yeah, I'm
me
glad to
too.
see
This has
you.
just been so good. It's like
Yeah,
every time we talk, I feel something opens, and it's always a delight to see what comes.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
exactly right. You
yeah.
take care, and best to
You
you and your
too, Todd.
family. And
Yeah,
I'll send you a message, and we'll get something scheduled for next month. Okay.
perfect.
Okay. See you later,
Okay.
Mary.
Thanks a
Good
million.
night.
See you, Todd.